Hello YouTube, this is Jonathan from Total Broham. Today we're going to be playing Total War Warhammer 2, a 1v1 multiplayer match. So, I will be taking the High Elves as you can see here, and we'll be fighting the Skaven. So, I decided that I would bring a High Elf male lord, and I actually decided to bring him on an eagle. And we can see here from the eagle stats, they have pretty good weapon strength. They're really fast, they have good melee attack and melee defense, and a great charge bonus. So I thought, if he brings a Sword Scroll or a Grey Seer, they probably won't be heavily armored. Now in this case, he ended up bringing the Grey Seer on a, what's he on here? What's this thing called? Well, I'm just going to call it a Doom Bell or a Plague Bell. I'm sure it's something like that. And he brought him with the Lore of Plagues. So my eagle's not going to be fantastic against him, since eagles in this game surprisingly are not armor piercing. However, I also brought a Flame Spire Phoenix with Is, as well as doing magic damage and flame damage, which isn't terribly pertinent in this match, but I thought Skaven, they like to bring large amounts of infantry, so I'll be able to take advantage of his bombs. But besides that, I've also brought another Great Eagle, so I got him for the... He's not nearly as good as the Lord on the Great Eagle, but he's still really good, and against Skaven units, he can work really well. So in the front line, I've brought 4 White Lions of Trace, or Trace, however that's pronounced, and they should be able to do quite well against most Skaven front lines. I've also brought 2 archers. Now I didn't bring the Northern Sea Guard because Skaven can they can summon up units behind your lines, and I found that those units I think they're plague monks that they can summon. If they summon those and get them into your Northern Sea Guard, they melt almost as fast as archers do. So I decided just to bring archers. The reason I wanted archers is because Skaven have a lot of unarmored infantry, but also if you can get these archers to shoot at the Skaven artillery, the arrows can actually destroy their artillery pretty fast. So they can be extremely useful if you use them in that way. For my magic, I brought a Little Master of Hoeth. I figured, let me see if I can get him here. And I brought Spirit Leech. I brought Spirit Leech to help Guna Lord, so with this Guna squad. Wiston's Wild Form, which will add 25% melee attack. Melee damage, sorry. So if I throw that on him, and Spirit Leech him, and use the Earthblood that the Lord Master of Hoeth comes in with, I'll be able to take down a Lord super fast. And taking down the Lord on Skaven can be really, really powerful. I also brought an Ithamar Chariot. Now Skaven like to bring hordes of lightly armored infantry with low mass, so the chariots can just destroy Skaven. And besides that, I brought 3 sets of spearmen just to hold the flanks and try to protect my archers. Now my enemy went with a huge front line, just clan rats and Skaven spear slaves, hoping to overwhelm me and get to my archers. Thankfully I did not bring that many archers. He also brought 2 Poison Wind Globadiers, which are anti-large, so those could be really useful against all my large air units. He also brought 4 Stone Vermin with Halberds. Can also be very useful against large units, and can probably do a pretty good job of bogging down the Ithamar Chariot as well. Besides that, he's got the Warp Lightning Cannon, which is also very good against large units. So he probably was expecting a Flying Lord of some kind, but he probably wasn't expecting this much air. And seeing other videos and trying it out myself, air power is where the High Elves take it. I mean, their other troops aren't extremely cost effective, and they can't go very wide. But if they control the air, they can really use their mobility very tactically and take out key targets, as you'll see I'm doing here. So my Flame Spire's Phoenix is going for the Warp Lightning Cannon. My Lord and this Great Eagle are going for their Globadiers. He sends some Storm Vermin back as my Warriors of Trace engage in the front line. Now I missed the charge with my Ithamar Chariots, so that's really bad right there. And he's just going for a full surround. Try to get my Lord Master of Hoeth on the Grey Seers. I'm getting my Eagles out of here before the Storm Vermin get in here. And I'm trying to get this guy to kill this War Lightning Cannon, but he gets stuck here for quite a while. It's just not moving or not getting up in the air or anything. So as you can see, our White Lines Trace are just cutting through the Skaven Spears, as you'd expect. And I'm trying to get my Lord Master of Hoeth on to him. Yeah, there we go. And they'll do a pretty good job at holding in line. Now, Skaven, they are just overwhelming. I'm trying to get my archers to whittle them down some, but there's just so many. They're going to surround. So I would pop Wiston's Wild Form here, and oh, I guess I know. Not yet, at least. But I pop all the my general's abilities and attack this Grey Seer on his Screaming Bell. That's what it's called. And he's just going down so fast. I mean, look at that. Man, and that's even with me forgetting to pop Wiston's Wild Form. So if I had popped that, that would have been so much better. If I had popped a Spirit Leash, he would have died right there. So I finally got my Flame Spider's Phoenix off this cannon, and he's now getting on these guys. These Poison Weird Globadiers aren't making very good combat with these Eagles for some reason. They don't seem to be doing very much damage, which I found to be strange. So our Spears are seeing off their Spearmen on the edges, as they're much, much weaker. White Lines and Trace doing good pretty much all around, except right here where they got surrounded. And then he brings these 2 Rat Ogres out of the forest. And I was not expecting this. I thought this was his whole army. So I immediately, once I see them, I start getting my archers to shoot at them. And I try to get my spears on them. While also trying to micro my my chariots all around the place, try to get doing max damage, and using the looks like these Eagles just have fear. Fear on the Eagles and the Terror on the Flame Spider's Phoenix to get some stuff done. Looks like I got a bit of Miss Ranker right now. He's not doing anything. I got him out of there because the Storm Vermin will coming in. And looks like I forgot these spears too. So as you see, I have a lot to improve on. But I'm getting my chariots into these Poison Globadiers. I got my Flame Spider's Phoenix coming in here too. I had my Great Eagle chasing his Lord, but I figured if he comes back, then I'll just Spirit Leech him. So I'm winning this middle blob, as you can see here, but then his Rat Ogres come in behind, and that really does do just a ton of damage. I really need to take out those Rat Ogres. Now I got some spears in with these on these Rat Ogres, and they're doing really well, but they did effectively shut down my archers. And look at these guys. I'm pretty sure I have them set to attack these Rat Ogres, but they're just standing there. In other places, the Spearmen are just holding off 4 units. I mean, this was really a misallocation. 5 units, misallocation of resources on his part. He could have shut down these archers. Granted, there was only 2 archers, and they were the cheapest ones, so it wasn't a ton of great targets for all those units. But still, come to think of it, I could spread these guys out more too. So I'm getting my chariots to charge around, and I got my Lord here holding down all these guys. I see they're not doing that much damage, so I decided to send in my chariots and start bombing this. And I'm just doing a ton of damage with this Flame Spider's Phoenix. So we're taking care of these Rat Ogres pretty well. We took care of one group. No, he's still back here. There he goes. And we have this really strong pocket of Warriors of Trace over here. They're just doing great. So his Lord's thinking about coming back into battle, so I dispatched my Great Eagle to go and take him out. My chariots are just running down some routing units right now. And I think at this point I dropped all my bombs, and I'm taking a bunch of Globadier fire, but they're mainly missing. That actually did do some good damage. So I'm going to pull my Lord out and try to get on these Globadiers, and take from my Warriors of Trace. And that's pretty much going to end it for the Skaven. Their Lord just went down, all their troops are running off. They really don't have any stopping power to stop these White Lions of Trace or these Eagles. And there goes the mass rout. So, yeah, guys. I would say that chariots are really, really good against Skaven. 94 kills, I didn't micro them as well as I could. So, they didn't do great. Spearmen they're just a staple of the High Elf army. You need them just to get some buys out. They have such high melee defense that they can hold higher tier units for quite a while. And White Lanes of Trace, well, they're probably the most cost-effective unit on the High Elf roster. just because they're armor piercing. They have great stats, and they are relatively cheap for a high elf unit, especially one with those kind of stats. So those are always good front line. I don't bring anything higher tier than the White Lions of Trace. I think it's a bad idea against the Skaven, just because of how powerful their artillery is. It can really destroy them before they even get into battle. And I like the pick of the archers. Maybe I should have gone with the Large Sea Guard with shields. I mean, not with shields, but with just the spears, so that they can just defend themselves. I mean, it's only 175 more for pretty much an extra spearman unit, so maybe that'd be worth it if I could cut down somewhere else. But Flamespire Phoenix and two Great Eagles, great combo. Took out their Lord very fast. I could have done it even faster if my Lore Master had gotten in there, and if I had used the Spirit Leech and Wisdom's Wild form. But yeah, guys, that is all for this one. This is Jonathan, signing out.